And I've asked everyone to mute their microphone. Let's all do the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
No.
You don't have to stand, but okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the
States
United States of America and to the republic
for which it stands,
one nation,
indivisible,
Indivisible.
with liberty and justice for all. Yeah, a little bit of lag time there. Okay. I'm going to introduce the board members. You can wave when I say your name, maybe. So we have Joe Bogas representing Council District 11, Bernie Cole, Council District 3, Lynn Miller, Council District 10, Janet Porter, I don't know if she joined us, she's representing District 8. Brenda's not able to be with us. Brenda Ladson Powell, she represents District 1. Leslie Richmond, I saw she's here, Council District 7. Tracy Robinson joining us by phone, Council District 4. Laura Sturkey will be signing in. She's Council District 9. Terry Thomas, Council District 2. James Morrell, Council District 5. And I'm Anna Maria Tabernick, District 6. I'm the chair. Okay, thank you. We don't have any public comment per se, so we'll just keep moving. We will have an executive session today, folks, and just for people that are listening, we will not be taking a vote to discuss personnel matters, and then we will come back out into the public to do an adjournment. So we all received the September 9th minutes, and just a reminder to the public that listens in, we meet every other month. So these are minutes from our last meeting, September 9th. I'll need a motion to accept the minutes. Okay, Bernie, a motion. Can I have a second? Anybody jump in? Lynn will second it. Everybody in favor of accepting the minutes, approving them? Okay.
Aye.
Thank you very much. I don't have anything in corresponding or membership. You, Amanda? All right. So I'm going right to the library director's report. This will be Amanda Dickman. She's our interim library director. You're on, Amanda.
Well, good afternoon. I am happy to report that since your last Board of Trustees meeting, where you approved to reopen our branch libraries for limited service, we have served 11,804 customers. We circulated 51,000 items. And for those of you who want to know a breakdown between the physical books and DVDs that we circulate versus the digital, we circulated 37,816 physical items and 13,285 digital items. Just to give you some comparison, in circulation figures for September of 2020, we have surpassed our numbers by 179%. So it is good to be reopened. Thank you for letting us open safely. It certainly shows that we have a value to provide to our community. So thank you for that. Currently, I do have some exciting news to share with you regarding the Bluffton branch library renovations. It is my distinct pleasure to let you know that that project is now out in the bid solicitation process. It was posted on Friday, and the timeline for that is that the bids will be collected until December the 3rd. At that point, it will go into a review process, and then we can expect sometime around January to begin to move towards getting the funding and approval from county in order to actually award the contract to the winning bidder. So idealistically, if you remember from McMillan, Pasden, Smith's presentation in your last board meeting, they said it would take about 4 months of construction time once the contract was awarded to the winning bidder. So we're looking at hopefully in March being able to start the beginning parts of that construction and hopefully completed mid-year. So sometime in 2021. I would also like to report that both Bookmobile North and South are on the road. Bookmobile South, the one that serves Bluffton and Hilton Head, has actually added 2 new stops. So we're at 32 stops, which is about half of what we've typically done pre-COVID. But those 2 new stops are to Okatee Pines in the Sun City Bluffton area, and the Crescent, another all-ages community on Route 278. So things are in full swing, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Amanda, I just want to express gratitude for the Bookmobile. Our residents are ecstatic it's back, and it's a great service to the residents that, I can't get to the library or don't, want to take advantage of it. So we're really happy. Thank you.
Yes, sir, Mr. Bernie, we're going to try to unmute you. You may have to unmute yourself there.
Am I back?
You're back.
Oh, all right. First of all, congratulations on the great circulation numbers. And this is the first I knew that the bookmobiles were back in action. They serve a great need in our community, and I'm happy about it. And then just to let everybody know, in terms of the bid process and so forth for Bluffton Renovations, Amanda and I went over all that this afternoon, and I said that she should make a presentation because she had more time to study it. So it will not be part of my committee report. But once again, good old bureaucracy, we finally got to this stage. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Any other questions that you may have for us in terms of anything?
Anybody? Okay. That concludes your report?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, thank you. Financial report, I assume you're going to defer to our finance committee.
As usual, that is correct. I leave this to Joe, the chair of our finance committee, in his capable hands. He will describe in detail that we are about a third of the way through and we are slightly underspent, but rest assured we are on track. We are now purchasing at our pre-COVID levels, so materials are going to be coming in, filling the shelves, but Joe is going to give you the final details on our finances.
So I'm going to go to committee reports, and I'm going to finance committee first. Joe Pogas is our chair. I sit on it, Laura Sturkey, Terry Thomas, and James Morrell. So take it, Joe.
Okay. Yeah, we get to the exciting part of today's meeting. First, let me tell everyone that the Finance Committee did meet on Monday. We had a WebEx conference, and we went over these items in detail. So we'll just summarize them today to let everyone know where we are. But in short, the library is in good financial shape. We're showing healthy balances in our sort of capital accounts, and at the same time, we are underspent, as you could expect, on current operating revenue. The only other item worth noting is that there has been nothing to update the group on relating to impact fees. And as soon as something happens on there, or something breaks, we'll let everyone know. What I would like to do then is to go through our financial documents in our usual order and then put on the highlights so everyone understands where we are. And what I'd like to begin with is our statement of special funds. And as usual, starting on the left with state aid lottery, you'll see that we've received our second allotment from the state, and that's state aid, which is really directed to library materials. We have received year to date about a little over $162,000. We've spent 48, leaving us with a very healthy balance of 113,000 as yet to spend. Our spent number of 48,000, you'll see that repeated again when we get into the materials report. Moving over one column from there, impact fees, and looking really to the bottom there, you'll see that we have a nice balance of $4.7 rounded million in impact fees. Since our last report and in the 2 months that have passed, we've added about $71,000 to our balance. Since July, we had receipts of a little over $280,000. 70% of that, 75% of that from Bluffton. So thank you, Bluffton, for your contribution to library impact fees. We've had expenditures during that period of $208,000. Library materials account for $174,000 of that. And then with the remaining charge to Bluffton for the architectural and engineering side of that activity, a little over 33, almost 34,000. So that really highlights the ins and the outs of the of impact fees. And the final column here on special trust, there's really been no noticeable activity from there, so we can really skip that at this particular point. Now, the next document that I want to touch on is really our report of expenditures here, and you'll see. Sorry, wrong report. This is the correct report here, and you'll see looking down. We are roughly 1/3 of the year calendar-wise, 33%, but we've only spent about 27% of that. And basically, as you can appreciate, the library has been operating on really just a carry-out curbside basis until last month. So a lot of this money has not been spent. We have about $230,000. Roughly unspent at this point. So in terms of where we are versus our budget report, we're underspent and we're in very, very good shape. And the last report in our assembly is sort of my special reports, and that's library materials. You'll see that roughly 1/3 of the year through, we have already spent $280,000. Which really puts us in a very healthy position for library materials, because really we have a target rate, or I have a target spend rate of about $600,000. So we're really, really, very, very healthy there. Most of the money, you'll notice, has been spent on leased materials. And these are the materials that everyone flocks to. Really the best sellers, the things that are on the must-read hit. And Amanda touched on the fact that we've had a lot of visitors to the library since we've reopened. And if you look at the math, you'll see that each visitor takes out about 3 items of materials. And that's really where the leased material books come into play, because those are the things that really people are looking for. You'll see a couple numbers repeated here. State aid, $48,000 was spent. Impact fee, $174,000 spent. So you see the interplay of how we spend our money on materials and how this really affects us out of the impact fee fund. Also noteworthy, the second largest area of revenue for materials is really the Friends of the Library, with $57,000. And we really want to give a hats off and thanks to the Friends for their sustaining and really notable contribution to library materials. So with those 3 documents, we really wrap up our financial position. As I said, just repeating, we're in good shape on our capital accounts. Amanda and her group have really underspent on our library budget, so we're showing a healthy plus balance there. And on library materials, it couldn't be better than where it is today. And thank you to Amanda and Josh for all of your work with this. And with that, I'd like to say if there are any questions on the financial documents, I'll see what I can do to answer them. Okay. Nothing?
Bernie, you're muted. You have to unmute.
I'm sorry?
Okay. Am I back?
Yes.
All right, Joe, do we have any feeling from the county council and so forth, and probably I should ask Alice this, about what the impact of this financial meltdown is going to do to our budget for the following year, starting June 30, 2021?
I'd have to refer that to Amanda or Alice.
I don't, and Chuck might want something too. Back when we had our budget workshop, we talked about the Bernie, I think you're right. If we see an impact, it's not this year, it's next FY year.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if Chuck or Amanda want to have any comments on that. But they may know better than I do. But.
Yeah, a little comment. At lunch today, I had a chance to talk with Paul Somerville, and he didn't want to go there right now because so much uncertainty. So Yeah, I understand that.
Sure, I will chime in. Looking that far forward is a bit difficult. What I can do is speak to where we are now, especially as it relates to impact fees. Building is strong, surprisingly so. So where we are right now, we are equal to or ahead of where we were last year as far as permit sales. So I know that doesn't specifically answer your question, but that's sort of a snapshot of where we are right now.
Okay.
Thank
By
you.
the way, Amanda, is Josh around?
He is. He's on the call with us today.
Sounds call.
Oh, okay.
I have said that there's a piece of our funding that you've seen Joe talk about, and that is state aid. And we are monitoring closely the state legislature to see what they're going to do in terms of any changes to state aid. At this point, we haven't been given a warning to expect any changes, but it's something that we're monitoring just to see if the state will make any cuts to that.
I have a question. Joe, now you say we're I don't want to say behind, but we are doing really well with spending funds from the county. If we don't spend all of the funds from the county, do they take them back?
Well, from what I've seen in the past, there is no real carryover on this. The money that isn't spent gets really retained in the county treasury. Yeah. Now, unless there's a special bonus that's passed out to the finance chair, there's nothing there. No.
Well, you're certainly deserving of it, but I don't think they're going to go for it.
Both of you are correct. Any unspent funds would remain with the county, but for our materials purposes, we will expend those funds. The only place where we may not expend funds would be in any savings or money unspent towards salaries for vacancies. So things like Mr. Midgard's vacant position, we call that slippage. It's just any money unspent that was allocated for salaries and personnel.
And right now we are in a holding pattern for hiring unless it's essential?
No, ma'am, we are currently able to fill our vacancies. I should have included that in my director's report. We have welcomed 4 new employees since your last meeting, and we have 3 pending candidates that we're hoping to be able to set and bring on board. So we are actively interviewing to fill all of our vacancies so that we are fully staffed.
Perfect, thank you.
Yeah.
Any other questions for finance? All right, I'm going to move us to foundation. Lynn, do you have a report for foundation?
I think there's a meeting coming up. I can't remember. But the last time they met was in September. And the foundation is considering, the foundation is putting together their annual appeal letter, which will be November 10th. They're going to be putting that together and mailing it to all of us. So that's being done. And then at their last meeting in September, which was after our meeting, Ray had suggested that they consider, I didn't write it down. They were supposed to consider insurance for directors. That seems to be, is that right, Amanda? Am I wording that right for the directors? Because there is someone that they would like to come on board, and that person does not want to come on board unless they're assured that there's some kind of insurance, and liability insurance. And they're also suggesting that Friends look at that as well. So that's my report for that.
Thank you. And I'd like to remind anybody that's listening that donating to the foundation is very important, and to all our friends of the library groups. As Joe noted, they are staunch supporters and really provide us with a lot of funds and before COVID programming and so on. So, all right, friends of the library. Brenda's not here. James, can you take that one? Anything for Beaufort Friends of the Library?
Yeah, sure. Beaufort Friends of the Library, they've been meeting consistently over the last few months since we've been in this COVID. So kudos to them for that. At their last meeting, they talked about the actual South Carolina Friends of the Library is having their annual conference, and actually will be this Friday, November 6th. And they do have some members who will be planning on attending that. They also talked about having trying to experiment with a library cart filled with donated books to be for sale outside of the Beaufort branch. And the reason for that is because obviously, we had to cancel the annual fall sale that they would normally have. So at this point, there's an influx of books that they have, and people are continuously donating. And so just trying to figure out a way to kind of capitalize off of the canceled annual fall sale, but still be able to bring in some funds. And so they're going to try that this Friday. They too also are going to be working on their fall membership drive letter as well. And so I, certainly encourage anybody in the public. They have a really great website that you can go to find out how to become a member and or donate to the Friends of the Library, as Tab mentioned before. And then finally, they are still planning on holding the Sandwiched In. This past year was really a great success. And so obviously anticipating, the COVID-19 and, the lockdowns and precautions or whatnot, the goal is to deliver the books Sandwiched In via Zoom. And so they're working on, kind of setting all of that up and getting everything in place for continuing to ensure that the book sandwiching can go forward. That's all I have.
Thank you. That's great. They're pretty active, it looks like. Bluffton Friends of the Library. Rosalie, do you have a report since Laura's not on? Okay, she's muted, but she's shaking her head no. So,
Tab, I attended. I can give you a report on their
okay.
last meeting. They met in October, and since the libraries have reopened, they've hosted 2 50% off sales to much success. They're currently also scheduling an annual membership drive for November, and also will be doing a special meeting there. So they are in full swing as well, and happy to be back in business.
I really appreciate the fact that the foundation and the library, Friends of the Library, do their drives in November, December to remind people to go ahead and contribute so you put it on your tax return. So it's very prudent. It's coming up. We should all be looking for that. All right, Hilton Head Friends of the Library. We're back to you, Lynn.
Okay, so they will be celebrating a birthday. Are we at 21 years? No, 12 years. I don't know. But anyway, November 6th from 1 until 3. They are, what we've done this year, instead of a big cake, they're little cupcakes. And so people can grab and go. So that will be on November 6th from 1 to 3. In the bookstore, they rearranged everything so it was a small room. Now they have taken the place where you pay, and they put it outside the bookstore, and only one person is allowed in the bookstore at a time, and they brought the books out. So they've rearranged all of that. They're back open from 10 to 4 during the week and 10 to 3:30 on Saturday. They too are working on an appeal letter, and they have 3 open board positions. So they're looking for some new board members. They're just in a transition right now. And I want to mention that we do a program over there called Book Break that's sponsored by the Friends. And rather than reinvent the wheel, we are piggybacking on Book Sandwiched In and giving them some recognition for that. So people, if they want, they can join Book Sandwiched In if they are out in Hilton Head. So that's the report.
That would be great. South of the Broad. Okay, policies and procedures. Rosalie Richmond is our chair. Lynn is on it, Janet and Terry. Is there any update, Roz?
No, not at the present.
Okay, thank you. Strategic planning, Janet is the chair. I serve Brenda, Lynn, and Tracy, but Janet's not on. And as you all know from our last meeting, we've suspended it's on hold, pending our acceptance of a new director or the location of a new director. So there's no report for strategic planning. Question? Yes, go ahead.
I have a note here from a prior meeting that every 3 years we need a new one. Is that coming up soon?
Well, if you recall, the committee under Janet's, she's the chair. We were meeting just before COVID. We were having a couple of meetings. James was there, I think, with a couple of us. And we had a whole plan. We have a facilitator, but once COVID hit and now our director, we have an interim director, we're looking for a director. It was agreed that we would put it on hold. The trustees agreed to put it on hold.
Okay, thank you.
Challenge materials. Joe is our chair. James and Roz and Tracy serve on it. How are we doing, Joe? Unmute yourself.
Yeah, we remain unchallenged.
I don't know. You're going to get kind of complacent there, Joe. Always unchallenged.
Getting into your routine here.
All right, we have a library facility subcommittee, and Bernie is the chair with Joe, Roz, Laura, and myself. Anything to add to Amanda's facility report, Bernie?
Well, just what Amanda said is the heart of the current situation for the Bluffton renovation. Any renovation in Hilton Head, I guess, is still up in the air. And then the possibility of a new library out in the new area of Bluffton is still on the table, but due to the uncertainty of money, the county is not going to take any action to step into it at this point. But it remains a great location. The developer still wants the library there. So all we can do is wait till we get some finality and some grasp of where we're going to be financially and where the county is going to be. So that's all I got.
As Amanda reminds me, we're on a COVID pause. Is that the word we use, COVID pause?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
Okay. Is there any old business? Anybody have something to put on the table for old business? Other than, I guess, we're all kind of older. Nothing? All right, new business. Amanda, we have approval of holiday closures. All of the trustees received the closings. Does anybody have a question on that? Amanda sent it to you. Those are our holiday observances, staff development day, staff work day, and so on. All right, can I have a motion to accept these library closures?
So moved.
All right, and a second? And Lynn will second. Anybody have a question or comment before we vote? All right, let's take a vote. Please, oh, Amanda, you have something? Go ahead.
Just to be official in your wording of your actual motion, I think that it would be helpful if you have the clause in there that you make a recommendation to accept the 2021 closing dates with the possibility of adjusting those dates after county council officially approves the county department closing dates, just in case there's a change or an addition. Last year there was an addition.
Yes, so it's an amended motion to accept it in case something comes up. You're absolutely right. Lord knows what's going to happen next.
All right, I move to approve it.
Okay, you moved, Bernie, and
To approve the amended motion.
Everybody in favor?
Aye.
Give me a signal.
Aye.
Thank you. The other thing Amanda sent us was our upcoming meetings for next year. And to remind the public, we meet every other month. So they're January, March, May, July, September, and November. So we need a motion to accept the Beaufort County Library Board of Trustees 2021 meeting dates.
I have an exception.
Well, I need a motion first.
I move that we accept those dates.
Thank you, James. A second? All right. Jerry, second. Okay, question or comment? Go, Roz.
Okay, on the September date of the 8th, in my case, I observed 2 days of Rosh Hashanah, and this is the second day of Rosh Hashanah. So if we meet on that day, I cannot participate. That's my only point. If the only other way would be to put it off until the 22nd, and that might be uncomfortable, or we could do it the 1st of September, which is, I guess, is not a good date either for people. I don't know if it conflicts with Labor Day.
Labor Day is the 6th.
Okay, Labor Day is the 6th.
Anybody else, a discussion on that item? Go ahead.
I see that the 15th, which is the third week, is the beginning of Yom Kippur.
That's
So
right.
maybe we should do it on the 1st.
Anybody else? I have no objection to moving it to the 1st if everyone else would like to.
Thank you.
All right, so we will amend it to say September 1st. Anybody have an objection at this point? All right.
Not me.
All right. Can I have so we need a motion to accept the amended agenda, amended board meetings. All right, Bernie jumps in, Lynn jumps in. All in favor of the amended meeting dates, please just raise your hand.
Aye.
Okay. And we will publish those. Thanks for bringing that up, Roz.
You're welcome.
Okay. So that ends our regular meeting. I'm gonna call us to go and we'll need a motion to go to executive session to discuss personnel issues. Can I have a motion for that? Bernie, you're just right on top of there all the time. And a second, please. James, second. All in favor to go to executive session? All right, and
Aye.
for the public, we will not be voting. We will come back out of executive session to do any votes or to go to adjournment. All right, let's hold on while broadcast turns us off.
Bye, everyone. Thank
we've had in years.
I can't make stuff up. I don't know what to say.
Yeah, well, the only drawback is that now I have to go back to washing windows on the house.
Sorry, Bernie, keep you busy.
Yeah, I know, it's my workplace.
Yeah.
Okay, we are back from executive session. We're back in regular session. We did not take a vote. There is no vote to be taken. Just a reminder to everyone, our next meeting, as we just approved, is January 13th, 2021. We will wait to see. I assume we're going to open up since County Council's opening next week. So it is scheduled for the Bluffton branch on January 13th, 4 o'clock, 2021. Okay? Anything else to come before the trustees? Then somebody please make a motion to adjourn. Bernie makes a motion to adjourn and Joe will second it. All in favor of ending our meeting, please raise your hand.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for your hard work, and we'll see you next time. Have a good day.
Thank you. Y'all have a good holiday.
Okay, bye.